All right, welcome to the NA versus EU showdown. I am one of your hosts, Blitz5, here with my friend, co-host, and founder of Main Gaming, Stento. Today we are doing EU Week 2. Here is our EU team list that are going to be playing in the events today. If you haven't caught any of the action so far, we'll just kind of give you a recap on what is happening right now. We're doing this full showdown tournament for the month of June, and we have some regular season prizes for the top 4 teams for NA and for EU. Then we'll be moving into the finals where teams from both NA and EU will be competing against each other for $4,000. We have our map rotation, daily map rotation, 3 Aaron goals, 2 Miramar, and Stento is going to go over a little bit of our scoreboard right now because we are halfway through the event for EU. Stento, any standouts other than K7, which have taken a pretty big lead so far, in the tournament?
Yeah, the scoreboard is heating up in a number of different spots. K7, as you mentioned, starting to kind of separate themselves on the top. As you can see, 191 points. Torch in second with 145. And Winner's Circle rounding out the top 3 with 142. A couple things to remember as we just went by. The top 4 of the EU section here out of these 17 teams will be taking home a nice little chunk of change. In the top 8 teams will be qualifying, so keep an eye on Code Red Gaming and everyone on the south side of them. Ace Esports, Retired Centers, a number of teams like Nitrous Esports and Platinum 7 and Euro starting to get the wheels turning here, trying to catch up and make sure that they can get into those qualification spots in the top 8. But we've got some good stats to go over here as well, Blitz, as we do shift over to our kill leaders for the tournament. As you mentioned, this is halfway. We've got a 30-game regular season here, ladies and gentlemen, and this is 15 games through. So some individuals putting up some insane stats. QDex leading the way, kind of separating himself from the rest of the individual players here with 47 kills. Ghost for Winner's Circle, 33. A couple of Torch players locked in with 27. That's going to be Fizz and Luca. And Stikas representing Tenetic 1 with 26 kills. Quickly flipping over to the damage side of things. QDex leading the way, 7,300. 6,300 going to Luca. Winner's Circle Ghost. KO Marco, kind of a new name, jumping onto the board there, as well as Traves making an appearance in 5th with 5,200. And this is going to be a new stat that we're kind of checking out today for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of a head-to-head comparison between our top 2 teams on the scoreboard. As you know, Kinetic 7 leading the way in this head-to-head scoreboard shows us a few things. Total kill comparison, we're looking at 113 for Kinetic 7 versus Torch's 94. Lots of damage being dealt out by both these teams, as you can see here, 20,000 plus, 19,000 plus for both sides. Another interesting thing to take note of here, Kinetic 7 average placement is 5th, Torch average placement 7th. So a very close in where they're going to finish in each match, as well as their damage. Kinetic 7 just kind of edging them out on kills and damage a little bit. And this is probably the most important stat of them all, the average points. This is going to be the amount of points that you're taking from every individual game here, ladies and gentlemen. So they're taking 13 per match. That's Kinetic 7 and 10 going to Torch here. But enough of these head-to-head comparisons and stats here, Blitz. It's game 1 time. The plane is stacked, and we are heading from the right side of military base up into the right side of Severny. So a very interesting plane path. Might be heading towards that Milta area as we were oftentimes in the beginning of this league. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you once again to the $5,000 Main Gaming NA versus EU showdown. I am your host Stento, here with my co-host on his channel here, Blitz5, and we're gonna have an action-packed day here, Blitz.
Oh, yeah, of course. And just a reminder on that head-to-head comparison, again, Kinetic 7 is in first place. Torch is in second place. They were very close together, but then Kinetic 7 yesterday got a pretty hefty lead. And then Winner's Circle right behind Torch, just 3 points behind. So again, K7, Torch, Winner's Circle in the top 3. But again, top 8 will be moving on. So we don't need to worry just about the top 3, but we're kind of focusing on them because they have been performing so well. And a lot of people here dropping center, a few teams late. We keep seeing NES do this strategy where they drop one player to the military base. This is Slayers, and the rest of the team stays up north here. It looks like they're stealing a vehicle from Toxic EU Toxic EU climbed up the leaderboards into 6th place. So they're definitely a team to watch on the up and up right now. Torch, our 2nd place team, they really do like to drop on this mill to power drop here, which is always interesting to see because it's not always the easiest place to rotate out of, but some teams just really love that drop.
Yeah, a couple things to point out. If we do take a look at the whole map, first circle has popped. We're heading up to Stalber, ladies and gentlemen, a very northeastern first pull of our circle here. And a couple of our top teams have a decent amount to travel here. K7, as they often are, dropping down in military base. So that's going to be an interesting rotation. We'll keep an eye on them. They're going to want to just keep coasting, as we kind of talked about a little bit yesterday. These guys have the ability to turn on what is almost like a cruise control, find themselves in almost every end circle and pick up whatever kills they do from there, as opposed to this hyper aggressive style, which also works out for them. Blitz, we've seen them pick up some kind of crazy 16 plus kill chicken dinners. So we'll have to keep a close eye on Kinetic 7 here. We saw some special moments out of some of the individuals here. We've got our eye on the man right now. Tyro is, I actually found the pronunciation.
Yeah,
Tyro,
I heard that. Tyro, exactly. We weren't sure. It's Tyro. It is Tyro.
Yeah, just an amazing play by him yesterday. If you didn't catch it, we watched Tyro wipe an entire 4-man and then quickly race up the hill and wipe an entire 3-man 1 versus 3. So he wiped the final 7 players on the map and clutched up as a solo for Kinetic 7. We'll make sure we find that clip for you guys and get it up on the YouTube and make sure that is a known play that happened, because we got some good angles of it as he worked his way through a 4-man and a 3-man, again as a solo, picking up 7 kills in the final like 30 seconds to minute of a game. It was something I've never seen before at this highest level of competition. So just some really special happenings yesterday. I had to kind of remember that and rejoice about that moment from yesterday, Blitz.
Yeah, that was so insane. I feel like we kind of even lost comms at the end because it was just so unbelievable what was happening. That was kind of one of those moments where
we were speechless. We were actually speechless. I screamed Tyro or Tiro. I didn't know his name at the time, and I think neither of us knew what to say after that. So just such a treat as always watching these players. But we do take a look at the map. So several teams starting their rotation. RMV in a good spot in Severny. TXC, one of our teams on the right side of the leaderboard. We saw them get it going a little bit yesterday, but they're gonna need more if they want to get into the top 8 here. But lots of teams just over the Sosnovka Island. Very far on the south side of the map. Gonna have to figure out this rotation sooner than later.
Yeah, so again, Toxic Esports, they're our orange Toxic team, number 14. They actually are in 14th place, coincidentally, with their team number. And then it is Toxic EU that, again, is in 6th, just to try to clarify that, because sometimes it does get confusing because of their similar names. They already got a pretty good spot sent. So this circle is one where I think a power spot is actually to take Stalber. It's always easier to go down Stalber than to go up Stalber late. So I really like that P7 has taken this location. I keep trying to just kind of point out everyone's placements so people know where everybody's at. And again, you know, to help kind of root for some teams. Platinum 7 is in 12th place right now. And RLX, as we watch P7, is coming in on a emergency pickup right now on the lift.
Yeah, show me what's going on there. I want to see them dropping. Actually, it looked like they were going to land a little bit closer to P7, but they're going to kind of be dropping on the lower side of Stalber on the west side. So again, yeah, nice little look at your map here. I thought they were going all the way on top to Stalber, so I thought we were going to see some early game action, Blitz. We started with 67 players, just 1 player missing from this lobby. I believe they'll be joining us for match 2 here, but no action in the first 5 minutes so far.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, it's our first beautiful day on Erangel now, and I kind of expect
the truth
to yeah, another beautiful day on Erangel. I can't really beat the weather on yeah, what a great map, you know. And hopefully, you know, it is evening time in EU, so hopefully these boys had a nice dinner and ready to go after some more chicken dinners on the battlegrounds. Sento, I'm kind of looking at Code Red right now. They're also in 8th place, so they're right on the edge of the top 8. Again, we mentioned it a few times. If you're just joining in, this is our week 2 of the EU qualifiers, and we are halfway through. So every game past this point will take us closer and closer to the end of qualifiers. We're 15 games in. This is our 16th game And AE is taking their own lift right now, maybe heading to the gas station potentially. There's a lot of shots coming in from Toxic. They're kind of getting separated
had
here.
A little bit of an angle. That's what I was noticing as well, Blitz. We've talked about it a number of times. You need to make sure that if you don't have a plan A, you got a plan B and a plan C on where to land here. We've seen teams oftentimes land a little bit split here and lose their round because of these airdrops here, and that's actually going to be Code Red Gaming losing Ollie in rotation. They drove right by RMV's compound. It looks like just one kill. I don't know. I thought I saw the rest of the team with him, but I think he was solo in that car there. So
yeah, so
unfortunate start for Code Red here.
Yeah, he was scouting out in the motorcycle. Just checked out because he was really far ahead of the team. I was wondering what happened there, and kind of a risky scout on the top side, but sometimes you have to do that for your team. Now the other members, 2 are in this Dacia, Traves and another member. They're running right into the pickup of AE. I don't think they expected AE to be in that spot. Why would they? Or actually, that was Toxic. This is not AE, excuse me. I thought this is where AE had kind of dropped in the middle. This was Toxic spread out from their drop, and they're watching PO from AE at that gas station. The rest of AE is actually up the way, and now Code Red's running into them as well. We're going to tap into their perspective. Traves just got out of the car. His teammate has been knocked, having a tough start to this day on rotation, but that's a good
knock there on Walshy there.
Yeah.
So he might be able to save Aaron here. For those of you who are unaware, Aaron is Sweeney, a very popular, well-known player here, an absolute laser beam. And here comes the nade from Arts. They know exactly where they are. It's just going to be if that nade connects. And there you go. I think the res has come off onto Sweens down there. Yeah, and Nata is pushing over the top side here, Blitz.
These throwables were just a little too far over the top. That molly could have been huge, just went right over them. Now they have to risk their lives. That's why one really good lethal placement could be huge.
Code Red Gaming is a team that demands respect, and this is a 2-man versus a 2-man. PO is all the way down at the gas station, so Arts and Nata are up here in a 2-on-2 versus Traves and Aaron here. So it is a really interesting situation. They've got a little bit of a pinch going on these guys, and now the third member of Code Red Gaming is arriving, hopefully just on time to relieve some pressure. And there,
and Torch third-partied. Torch is coming in from the east, Stento. They're still pretty far away, but the shots are raining in from that area, and also RLX is hearing what's going on now. They're kind of taking a peek. Nada's trying to get out of here and just get away, but doesn't really have much where to go.
Yeah, let's take a look at what Torch is looking at. I'm watching Merc kind of lead the way down the hill here. They know what's going on here. They heard the AE versus Code Red Gaming commotion. They just, as you saw on your kill feed, third-partied a nice quick knock and thirst out of Fizz onto one of those AE members. So now, as you mentioned, AE's a little bit jumbled up here. Torch is not slowing down. They must have noticed that Code Red Gaming lost one in rotation. They've got the drop on these guys, and the nades are just starting to rain out here, Blitz. Merc is again leading the way, and you can see the tracers just dropping in on the Code Red Gaming squad. I'm not seeing much damage connect here. They've got a nice, interesting little position to play. Merc is actually going to take down Spencer, but Aaron is there for the trade.
Luca got a nice flank on the side there. Good trade from Code Red. They really dodged all those lethals, which kept them up, but now some shots are coming in from the backside. RLX just flushed Merc there, which is a big loss for Torch, and they thought they were just going to come in here and clean up, and now they're losing some team members, and we'll see how aggressive RLX decides to be. They're one of our teams sort of on the bottom, so every point is good for them.
Molly's landing. I thought they looked good, but I think they went over the top. Finally, Luca is actually going to get a knock. That's Spencer going down. So just 2 more members for Code Red Gaming, as all angles here from Torch beginning to close in. And it's, I believe, Luca there getting the final kill. Maybe Fizz teaming up to take down the final few members of Code Red Gaming. So a good push there from Torch, picking up somewhat what looked like easy kills. Unfortunately, they do lose Merc to the third party of RLX, though.
Yeah, and I think that rock was kind of blocking more lethal damage than we kind of anticipated. I knew it was there, but I didn't realize it was that big, so I'm guessing that was kind of blocking some of the shots and some misses on top of that. Circle, as we see, popped here going north. An exciting first game Circle. Again, this is game 1 EU for week 2 qualifiers right now.
It's getting crowded on the west side of
very close. T1 is kind of crashing up here on the lonely member of Nada. They're going to see him He gets one member, but the quick trade out of the car from Clousy. Pio's actually underneath, but at this point, what do you do if you're Pio? It's kind of better to just hide, but he's got a shot, so he tries taking it to Clousy. He goes down. RLX is also up top here. This is great for them because, again, last time I checked, they were towards the bottom of the barrel. I think they're last place, so every point is great for them, and they have already picked up a few steals so far.
Yeah, RLX has just had trouble finding their way into endgame, but right now they're in a really good spot. They're starting to third party in every direction, and we've already seen them pick up a couple kills. Let's take a look at what they're looking at from the top side of the hill here. Again, one of our at least newer teams to me. I'm not familiar with a lot of these players, but Vanstar already picking up a couple of kills here. And again, they've got a really good spot on top of the hill to kind of peer down onto this T1 team, onto Torch as well, as we saw them picking up one of those kills. So a decent start for them here. We're just past the 12-minute mark. We still have 16 teams and 58 players alive. So this is going to start to heat up as we've kind of gotten used to with these guys, Blitz.
Yeah, for sure. I was taking a look here. Pio's on the side. We always see him doing these kind of big flanks, but it's actually a pretty big journey for him to get up here. And really all RLX has to worry about is RS from below and then P7 from above, but P7's not leaving Stallburst. Stallburst's still in. There's no reason to leave now. K7, our top team, is finally deciding to enter the ring, and they're kind of crashing onto that path in the center of zone. I'm just going to zoom out to see. Looks like everyone's made it either in or around the circle. 13 minutes in, we've only lost about 9 players so far. So there's still a lot of people for this circle. 2 teams very close to each other on the northeast side. I might flip over there, Stento, because there's a pretty big battle going on between Toxic and Edge. Full goes down. Swift goes down. Losing 2 members this early on in this fight is not going to be good for them. Not going to be happy here with this. Sly also goes down.
I think they're making a little bit of an edge rotation here, and unfortunately, it's tough to use the word edge. Toxic was rotating around the northeast side of map here, and they bumped right into edge here in this compound while they were rotating. So they do lose 2 members here. The revive has come off onto Sly here, and now this team 12. Edge pushing in to try to find these final 2 kills. They're going to need to be careful. Chap and Sly are great players, but Zim, also a good player, takes Chap down really quickly. Now the whole team is going to be closing in on the final member for Toxic EU here. The angles through the windows. Pammy, I believe, taking it down, or Prims with a nice little angle through the window there. So a good job for Edge. Another team that's on the right side of the scoreboard. I think they might be in 14th place, trying to find their way into the top 8 here. And they're going to be happy with that start. They're picking up some nice kills, and they're going to be able to work their way in on that side of the map. Blitz, there's not many teams over there on the northeast, but another shift to the north side. So that's phase 3. Eventually, as we all know, phase 4 is required to shift off of the water here. So we're going to see this pull back eventually. We see some teams like Torch really readying up for this, but Retired Sinners meeting that RLX relaxed team as we just talked about, and things are breaking out all over the map here. We're seeing Euro with a nice wipe onto TXC, one of those teams we talked about that need to get it going. Unfortunately, Euro was also a team that needs to get it going, so they're going to pick up 4 quick kills onto TXC there.
Yeah, and 2 things. That was really big for Edge because they needed to finish that fight without losing any members so they could really grab some more points. And then another team we've been talking about is RLX, and this is where things are kind of going downhill for them right now. But Donley, who's been playing pretty well for them, got a knock on trades kind of stopping this push, but they don't want to have a complete collapse here, or else all those kind of initial points will be for nothing for them.
Yeah, and RS need to do their everything they can to get traits up here. This is a team that I believe is currently in 9th place, on the outside looking in to those qualification spots. They've got denial on the Overwatch right now as that revive does come off onto traits here. So a good job holding strong as a squad here. As you mentioned, Donley with a good knock for Relax, holding that low side of the ridge here. But I think third party starting to play a little bit of a factor here. As you can see, this fight happening just on the edge of zone. And we've got 40 seconds left in phase 3. I love the push here from RS, just kind of working their way over the top here, Blitz. But Vanstar is there, drops Trace again. This is his second knock, so they're gonna need to act quickly. Denial does just that. Headshots with the AUG onto Donley. The smokes are out, but the third party's from the top side. Winner Circle, we haven't talked about them at all yet today, Blitz, but they're arriving just on time on the top side. Knocks coming out left and right out of Bueno and Ghost. Maybe we'll kind of get a little bit of an aerial view here, ladies and gentlemen, to show you the dynamics. Not only is it Winner Circle up there, but there's several teams coming off the top side of Stalber. As you can notice, Winner Circle in the light green there, and there's just so many knocks on the battlefield between RS and RLX. P7 from the blue here, getting an angle on the Winner Circle, playing a big spoiler here, but he's going to go down to the blue. So now it's just up to Steels. I don't think they're going to be able to get this res here, and Ghost is just waiting for him. Picks up that final kill onto Platinum 7, out in 12th place, and now it's up to Winner Circle. A little bit of damage control here, Blitz. How many members do we even have up for this squad? They're getting their res up, but this was just a little bit of a messy rotation on the edge. It looks like they're going to be able to get to 3 strong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, no res is happening here, Sento. Both members are actually knocked, and Pole's trying to make it in from the blue. It is phase 4, but he is not chucking too much there, so he just got in. He'll be able to get those reses off, and if he gets it quick enough, he might be able to get both people back up there. Ghost is trying to check out what's going on here. Because of the third parties, RLX is able to get their reses off now, so they're going to get back to 3 strong, but Vanstar needs to be watching here and cover for the team so that Ghost doesn't get, they don't get overwhelmed by Winner Circle.
Wow,
here.
unbelievable. Winner Circle is getting back to 4 strong here, and as you mentioned, an important role for Ghost right now to keep an eye on RLX, who have been playing this Rockridge almost to perfection, ruining several teams' rounds from this location. But Ghost is just such a shooter there with the M4, takes down Vanstar. It's up to Headpain and Donley now to make something out of this, but they got a 4-man of Winner Circle to deal with.
Yeah, I like Headpain's rotation here to the left, but Headpain, but he's not going to be able to get to the tree far enough to kind of block out the left side push. Big Dog's already taking it to his side. Ghost and Pole are kind of moving together, so Headpain's just going to lay down. But again, Donley's in such a tough spot. He's got 7 seconds on that revive, hops off because he knows they're getting super, super close here. The flush comes in. No more lethals. Headpain goes down.
Is one of those teams, when they smell blood, they're not going to slow down. They take down Headpain, and now it's just up to Donley. This is going to be a full 4-man push. Maybe he can take one down quickly, but I think he's actually starting to get third-partied in the back. K7, so it's just almost an impossible situation right now. And as you can see, that is QDex, our kill leader for the tournament, picking up that kill. A nice little aerial view of the map here. A couple fights still going on as we're going to tap over to the east side of the map. This is ZES versus Edge. Pammy is the only one up for the squad here. Tons of smokes already down on the battlefield. And as you can see, this is a battle where both teams are trying to regroup here. Smoke is going to be the biggest asset for this Edge squad here. I think they're going to lose their other teammate here, so they're down to just 2 members here. ZES on the high side here. We're kind of checking around. They've got 3 members up, 1 knocked, Blitz. So an interesting situation that we were watching unfold there. A little bit of a repair going on for both squads, but checking back in on this fight. We still have a knock here, so some good damage coming out from Edge to kind of keep the pressure on ZES. They do get the res off here, so now it's a little bit of a 4v2. We're seeing a lot break out in the kill feed. It's such an interesting zone for these players to try to play, coming down off the hill of Stalber, and there's just so many different rocks and ridges to kind of work down. So ZES already 3 kills, all going to Flow here. Now have turned their focus, remaining focus, onto the final 2 members of Edge here. You're going to see Torch, one of our top teams, going out in 6th place on the kill feed there. So that's pretty big for Kinetic 7 to keep their 1st place right there, Blitz.
Yeah, this has been a really long fight for ZES. I feel like they could have got aggressive way earlier here. They got back to 4 strong, and it's just now 1 member of Edge, and he's actually going up by himself, which could have been risky there, but they end up with the clear, and now we're just like that, Stento. We are in our top 4. It's still a pretty big zone. We're only 20 minutes in. I guess because this zone was just so far north, so open, so many teams got eliminated there trying to run in from the kind of Stalber area. And it's just RMV, K7, Winner Circle, and ZES. Everybody's got 4 members except for ZES. They just lost, or no, excuse me. That is RMV. That is still the 3-man.
Yeah, as you mentioned, things unfolded rather quickly here, and this is just phase 5, and we're down to our final 4 teams. ZES actually loses one to blue here. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get that res off. I would imagine so, but this zone is so big right now that most teams have a lot of area to work with. And there you go. ZES actually loses one member to blue there. I'm not sure exactly what happened. So 2 4-mans and 2 3-mans for our final 4 teams here in game 1. If you're just joining us, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are halfway through our EU side of this tournament, the main gaming $5,000 NA versus EU showdown. We've got 17 of the top teams in EU, all battling it out for the top 8 places to try and get into the final to represent EU in the finals versus the NA side. It's all about a month-long event here, and we are again 15 games through our 30-game regular season. And we're on board with Big Dog here. He's got a nice Groza in his hand, and we just mentioned it. Lots happened off of this Stalber Hill. So phase 5, a little bit of a slow ending here as we see all the members of Winner's Circle just kind of peering around. They're playing the southeast edge of zone, and nobody's really forced into each other right now, but we might see something pop off between Team 5 and Team 18 here. RMV is holding these rocks. They're waiting for Zealous to kind of push down. It looks like one member of RMV is a lot closer than the rest Blitz, perhaps feeding a little bit of information to the rest of the squad there, but that's Mercurial on the other side of things. Team Zealous with some great shots to knock Hacker, and now it's kind of up to Moz to make a little bit of a play here from underneath. But wow, some great shots from Mercurial again, backing down this RMV squad. So they might have 4 kills, but they're dealing with a quite a strong team here on the edge of zone here in Team Zealous.
Yeah, for sure. Hacker was just standing right in the open, no cover there at all. So kind of an easy knock for them. And then it kind of ruined Maz's spot because he was going to feed the information, and now he just got stuck below them. There's not much for them to do. And like that, I think that just one member of RMV is still up. They're going for the revive right now on Hacker. They're pretty far down this hill now, Sendo, so they're going to be able to get this. ZS not playing super aggressive here, and Ghost just got behind them. So let's tap into his perspective.
Oh, it looks like he's playing it safe. He knows K7 is somewhere in the lobby, so he's making sure he plays this a little bit safe. But as you can see, he's extended way out from the rest of his team, who's kind of holding that southeast edge. But I like this play. It looks like maybe one of his teammates either spotted this package or spotted K7, because Ghost is kind of beelining it across back this way towards center zone. I think they want the package, Blitz.
Yeah, so this is good. They might take this little ridge here to block out K7, but what they have to worry about now is if ZES moves around behind Winner Circle, kind of rotates around. So Ghost is going to flex back out to try and stop ZES. It looks like he was going that way, but now coming back to the care package. Really, it's going to come down to how Winner Circle plays this zone. If they go backwards, they might be able to stop getting triangled here. But if ZES comes behind them, this is going to be hard with K7 in front of them. Pole's watching right now with the mini.
I love this angle. He's got the 6x on the mini. He's going to try a little bit of spam, but K7 have a decent spot there. It looks like someone else on the team might be laying down some decent damage, but this car is just such good cover for K7 right now. A lot of those players for Kinetic 7 reduced to just that car in that spot. I think QDex is maybe the only one spread out a little bit to the south side. So K7 gonna want to try to group up here as Winner Circle just starting to get some angles and really apply the pressure down onto these players on the south side.
Look at that smoke, Sento. Most people would just smoke the car. Immediately, K7 has a giant wall of smoke that even if you shoot through the smoke, it's hard to know where they went. Ghost gets a nice nade, and this is actually great for Winner Circle. They're not standing back and letting ZES get right behind them. They're pushing forward and being decisive on this play. This is our third place team. This is a really good push for them right now. They have K7 back on the wall. Bull spotted that one of the members is in the shed there. That's QDex, one of the top fraggers right now. Big Dog goes down from Ghost, though, so it is happening. Big Dog did not get far enough. I think they need to continue this push, but now it's going to backfire. Big Dog goes down. Pole goes down. K7's got all their members up. Somehow they just survive so many of these onslaughts, Stento. We're going to tap into their perspective now.
Oh my god, Ghost and Bueno tag teaming for a nice double kill here. So what was a really good hold from K7 is now starting to break down. QDex in the shack. He's got the Groza. He's been holding really strong, but
nice nade on the Ghost.
This is such a tough area to play out if he does get a nice nade onto Ghost. He's looking for the final member, and he gets Bueno as well, Blitz.
I'm not sure if QDex just I think he got the remaining 3 members of the team there. I'm not sure if they got pulled, but they're going to get Anto down. QDEX just hiding in the shed, showing why he's the top fragger of the tournament right now. Look how close
RMV is on the push.
RMV is right now.
I don't know
Smart
if they know
move from
about
RMV.
I don't know if they know about QDEX in the shack though, but Hacker is right here. ZES is on the other side as well. So Hacker, why is he going to put down the smokes and win a nice little 1v1 versus QDEX with the help of Ben? I didn't actually see Ben pick that knock up, and he's going to confirm it as well.
Big
and now he
knock
picks up
onto
another
Anto.
knock onto Anto. So K7 doing an amazing job to stay strong here, but it's kind of all eyes on them now, Blitz, in RMV with just a very timely push here. Ben and Hacker getting the job done for RMV. They've been a very interesting team to watch, and Tyro actually is going to go down to zone there and just deny a little bit of a kill point. So we're down to our final 2 teams here, Hacker and Ben.
This is so smart
for
here.
RMV.
Hacker putting down a wall so they can get into zone before it gets closed off by ZES. They need to keep going. Hacker really heads up play to get these smokes out. Look at this great wall he's thrown down so they can try to run to the left and wrap around ZES. This is their only chance. There's a little bit of a dip here to the left, so if Hacker can get here, it might allow Ben to move in a little bit.
Yeah, you described it perfectly. I'm personally watching from above, and it's got a beautiful view of the smokes that Hacker and Ben are trying to work around. They're both on each side, so they're going to try to play the edge, and Hacker's going to try to work his way into the center here. Yeah, Hacker's got a great perspective now. He's noticed one of the members here for ZES. That's going to be Sal there using the rock. Hacker's going to try a stunner here as he pushes up. I'm not sure that landed. Ben on the other side unfortunately gets dropped, so Hacker with no vest is going to need to win a 1v3 here versus this team Zealous, who needs every point they can. They're on the right side of the leaderboard, hanging out in 15th place. So all of these kills, all of these points, this winner chicken dinner is very big for both of these squads here.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that Hacker pretty much played this perfectly. I don't think Ben could get far enough there, and they were just running out of lethals and all these things. He's going to go for a red dot spray into the smoke. I was thinking that 3 times might be a little bit better for this situation. He got them low, and he's on the other side. He's just center zone now. But with 3 members, this is going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. There's plenty of smoke on the battlefield right now, kind of.
I don't know if Hacker should leave this spot. I think the farther he goes back, the easier. I mean, he's gonna block off. He's gonna temporarily stop them from flanking around, but he's gonna lose so much of the sight lines, though.
Yeah, I bet there's a ton of util heading towards that rock, so he might be able to catch them off guard with this creative flank. Just as you mentioned, he's decided the 3x is the scope to strap onto this AR, and he's got a really interesting flank.
I like this move. This is a power move here to keep moving forward around.
I like it a lot. It's such an interesting flank, but it seems that he's decided this is the spot to hold for a second. Now he's going to keep going. He's going to totally outflank ZES, who is just kind of lost and looking for him right now. So ZES is going to be careful. We've seen Hacker with some really good shots. The thing is right now, Hacker is kind of lost that ridge to his right. So unless he gets all the way around, they might get some peeks on him on that right side. So he's going to need to get around this edge pretty quickly here before they poke up and notice him. And I think they're about to, Blitz. You can slowly see them poking up on the right side of his screen. He's going to check the pack, try to get a new vest. It's already a little bit damaged. Peek in the left side where he last saw ZES, and now the damage has come out. He's been spotted. Gonna be a tall order. He does lay down some good shots here, but he's down to 1 HP. He's got the pack for cover, and the blue is on his back. He's not technically in zone here, and he's all out of smokes as well, so it's going to come all down to his shooting. Can he make it happen? He looks for Sal on the right side, puts him down to about quarter health, back down to 7 HP himself here, and there's a good flank by the rest of Team Zealous. 6 kills and the chicken dinner for ZES. Great to see them get a nice W here, Blitz.
Yeah, amazing effort there from RMV. Really nice to see them come in and push K7. So again, ZES, exciting for them to get this dub. They're going to end the game with 9 total kills. My math right is on that. RMV in second place with 6 total kills, and K7 in third with 8 kills for themselves as well. Let's take it so we can say hello to everybody right now. Just 1 second. So many tabs. Here we go. Oh, wrong screen. What's up, everybody? I'm Blitz5 here with my buddy Stento. Another great game. Great way to start off the EU weeklies. This is like our 4th day for EU right now. Just a lot of action. Great, really fun circle. And I really liked watching RMV try to make those moves there, because so many times you see people, you're like, they get a little, they question what they're doing, They might play for the points, and RMV just sent it, and I really like to see that.
Yeah, that was a an awesome try by that flank there, but Team Zealous just kind of had the numbers there in the end. So it was mutual carnage between a couple of teams, K7 and WC there, and some good pushes by RMV and a couple other teams to just kind of end up cleaning it up. We saw a lot of the action happen kind of early to mid game there. So a very interesting zone finishing up there on Stalber. But that's just match 1, Blitz. We got to wait a little bit, and we'll get back in here for match 2 in just a second.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing that there's some issues with the PUBG server, so we're going to take an intermission as we normally would. We'll see what's up. If there's any issues, we'll come back and let you guys know what we'll be doing. Hopefully, we can get into the custom games and get things sorted. So we'll be right back in a few minutes. Thanks, everybody. GG's. All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry we had a kind of an extended intermission right there. We had some issues with the PUBG servers, but everybody was able to get back in. So we are headed back to Erangel for Game 2, and welcome to the NA versus EU Showdown. This is the EU qualifiers, Week 2. We're going to be having 3 weeks of qualifying and then heading into the playoffs and then into the finals. So as you can see on the screen in front of you, here's our map rotation, daily map rotation. It stays the same, but I like to just put it up here. And then we have our EU team list for today's event. Right now, we have EU playing, and then later on, we'll be going back to NA starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have 17 total teams in EU. And then for NA, we have 24 total teams. So we have things broken down into Group A, Group B, and Group C. So we're going to be seeing, I think, Group A and Group C play tonight, Stento. Group A and B just played last night, and it was action-packed. Really, really great games. And, obviously everything has just been really exciting so far. For the regular season, we have prizes. We're splitting $1,000 for the top 4 teams in NA and EU, so they'll both be taking home a total of $500 both sides. And then also we have $4,000 for the finals, a whopping $2,000 for the team that comes in first place. $5,000 total dollars on the line for this month-long tournament, which is absolutely amazing. And then before we get into the playing path here, Stento's just going to take you through the scoreboard a little bit. We're still waiting on the official update here, and I think we just got it, Stento. There you go. Perfect timing.
Yeah, absolutely. So going into today, we played 15 matches. The 16th match has just been added from today, match 1. As you can see, Kinetic 7 sitting on top with 204, starting to separate themselves from the likes of Torch and Winner Circle with 156 and 153, respectively there. T1, 107, and Kicked Out rounding out our top 5 with 105. But we always need to keep an eye on the top 8 here, ladies and gentlemen. The top 8 from these 17 teams are going to be moving on to the finals. So we'll keep a close eye on Code Red Gaming, Ace Esports, and everyone around that spot right there. But switching over once again to some statistics here. We've seen it a couple times. You've seen the names all over the kill feed. QDex, Ghost, Torch, Fizz, Luca, and Seekus leading the way for the kills right now. Just a quick peek there as we are getting ready to jump into our plane. And another peek at the damage here. QDex leading the way. Ghost with 6,900 right behind Torch, Fizz, and Luca. 6,700 and 5,800. And bringing up the rear in the top 5 is Code Red Traves. And just one more thing we've been adding is now some team head-to-heads. As you can see here, with our 16th game added, the head-to-head between Kinetic 7 and Torch is quite interesting. Through 16 matches, 121 kills for K7, 103 for Torch. You can see the damage on your screen there, almost identical. Average placement hasn't changed yet. 5th for Kinetic 7, 7th for Torch, and average points as well, 13 and 10. So just a really good way for us to get an idea of how the top of the leaderboard compares to one another. But match 2 is about to get underway here. We're seeing our plane path from just above Primorsk over to Stalber. So a very interesting plane path here, Blitz.
Yeah, it's amazing that Torch is standing right there in damage with K7, but the placement is just right behind him, and that's the difference between first and second right there, is that the consistency and a little bit of placement. But again, top 3, Kinetic 7, Torch, and Winner Circle. Kinetic 7, the first team to cusp 200 points. So they're at 204 now. And Winner Circle is still 3 points behind Torch. So very close right there. But those teams mostly will probably be okay as long as they keep playing consistent. It's really more around the middle of the pack, which we're going to be seeing some things shake up as time moves on. And I really kind of want to keep diving into the scoreboard around those points. So we'll keep checking in and kind of filling you guys in with how some of these teams in the middle are doing, so we can see their journey. And we have our circle pop for game 2. Again, this is game 2 for EU, and we're getting a northwest zone. We just had a finish here below Stalber, and this one is north, but just to the west a little bit.
Yeah, very interesting plane path. I always point out the water involved both on the south side and obviously on the north side. A huge chunk of this first zone is in that northern part of the ocean there. And a couple teams are going to be in a really good spot to start off. TXC, RMV, And taking a quick look around our map, I'm not really seeing any bit of a hot drop. Maybe up there near Stalber. We'll have to keep an eye on Platinum 7. It looks like they're back up to 4 strong now, Blitz. They missed one player in the first match of the night. But keeping a close eye on Ivix, as I think he was playing a real sort of lead fragger role for them yesterday. Some big kills and big plays out of this man as a solo representing the squad. Right now he's reduced to just a Tommy gun. He's got some eyes on those Torch members, so some early action here potentially breaking out. We've already lost a few members, but we're going to continue to push on through just through 3 minutes of action.
Yeah, so Ivix, when you watch him play and the squad and some of their fights, they look like a top tier team, and I don't mean to throw shade at them like they're not a top tier team, but currently on the listing they're dropped down into 13th place. Obviously, you know, any given match day, and obviously there could be some great teams not playing well. Could be some bad teams that are playing great. That's just how tournament play happens. But we'd like to see what they could do with 4 strong. Not the best situation to be running into Torch early on though with a Tommy gun.
Yeah, anything can really happen in these fights. Vector in one hand, Tommy gun in the other hand, and I think Ivix really has the drop right now on Merc. I don't really know what we're looking at on the other side here. There you go. Merc is put down to 19 HP. He's going to be calling out to his teammates. Kayomi in there, and the rest of Torch is going to need to join up here quick. They're starting to get some angles on both sides here. The SMG battle is real right now, Blitz. Merc is going to win that with the Vector versus the Tommy gun. Unfortunate for P7 losing one of their main fraggers there, Ivix's.
Yeah, the Tommy gun can be super powerful up close, but it's just hard to compete with the Vector and its fire rate. And now they're really suspicious if there's anyone else in this compound, and they're checking, and Bonnie is here. So we'll see how quick they get to kind of clear out some of these buildings. Torch, they have a commanding lead or in second place, but they need to keep playing consistent, and you just never want to lose people early, and some of the better teams are good at doing this. So let's see how they can kind of clear through these buildings, or will they just kind of move on? One of the hardest things to do in PUBG, even in casuals, I feel like anybody can relate to this, is when you're in this situation, do you keep looking? Do you just leave that person alone? Because now if it is just one person left, you know, they might be really hiding. They might just end up getting a knock and a flush. So it's kind of like, when do you cut your losses? When do you want to pick up that extra point? Lucas seems to be leaving. I think they might just decide to leave here, Stento, and I think that's probably for the better. But the rest of P7 is actually kind of creeping up on the right. We'll pay attention to what happens there. Meanwhile, the circle has been filled with a lot of teams now. We're seeing a bunch of colors now take over the middle of the zone. Code Red Gaming has been having some trouble rotating in, and right now they're rotating into shooting range. And TXC's here. I kind of want to catch this because they've been having some issues. Code Red, it's just Ollie again, really in front of his squad. I don't know where the rest of his team is, Stento. He's getting, I think, too far in front of his team scouting here, and now he's just in by himself. TXC is currently focused on T1, so I'm not sure. I can't imagine they didn't know that Ollie's there.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for this to unfold. So it's some third parties here, kind of distracting away from Ollie, as you mentioned, kind of just out here all alone. I'm not sure that TXC knows he's there. Blitz, can we get a little bit of an aerial view to kind of see exactly what we're looking at here? Ollie is just hugging up to some of these sandbags in this area. It's only a matter of time.
Benjo's really close here. He just ran right past Ollie. Didn't even shoot at him. Didn't even see him.
So Ollie again somehow got stuck in this location, and yeah, TXC, do they know he's there? Ollie with the trigger discipline that I could never have personally. Oh, he's gonna take a fight here. He's gonna get change. Where's the rest of the squad? They're a little bit too far to the south. Ollie needs to relocate here. Unfortunate for TXC. This is not what they need right now. In such a good position in zone. How did Ollie even get here, Blitz?
He was on the bike, and I thought he was driving in, but he killed the engine. But you can see this is his initial bike, and then his buddy Travis here pulled up in another bike. But where's the rest of the team? Calvary's finally coming in a four-seater, I think, because the rest of the team is coming in on the west side. They're going to take a really good flank on this west side. They should actually keep pushing up over there. I'm going to tap into their view because they're going to have a great shot here. Spencer moving in. Benjo's down. That gets stolen from RS, or actually was knocked from RS originally. Spencer there getting a quick knock onto Tazy.
Yeah, this is now a really great play by Code Red. I didn't see, you know, what caused them to kind of be so just disjointed on the pull-up. But it was some really great solo play there from Ollie to just kind of hold down and eventually get a knock and a thirst, and then the rest of the squad there pulled up just in time here. You know, unfortunate for TXC, they got third-partied by a team or two as well there as they were trying to deal with the solo for Code Red Gaming, and then timing was just not on their side here. But a good overview here showing a lot of teams in the area, both up on the hill and to the north side on that ridge already. Blitz, RLX, and RMV, as you can see, hanging out on the north side. And just phase one here. We've got all of our teams left, but we've lost several players.
Yeah, I actually kind of want to tap in here to Euro because they have a member of Winner Circle knocked right now. Winner Circle is our third place team, 3 points behind Torch. Euro right now is actually on the come up. They were towards the bottom of the list, and now they're on 12th. They've just moved up a couple places over the past day or two.
That Rez has come out onto the Winner Circle members. Big Dog has also got a heal off, but no Sino. He's been playing a big role for them oftentimes, and he does open up with some nice heads up on the Bueno. He's going to confirm that as well with the help of Bosnian. Now Winner Circle down to just 3 players here. Euro is a great team versus team fighting squad. We've seen them win several fights when they just have to deal with one squad. Unfortunately, we don't see them in very good position end game. So I love these guys taking a fight with Winner Circle here, just kind of on the edge, and Nocino making the holographic M4 look super easy here, Blitz.
Yeah, he's lasering with that holographic, which sometimes
unbelievable.
Yeah, he's actually out of ammo here, and this is where I feel like Euro just kind of loses a little bit of speed because they're just staying on this hill with not a lot of cover. Finally, Ghost goes down. They need to group up and get aggressive. They need to get some smokes down for Bosnian and get him back up. The smoke is clearing, and then make a move here. Now is the time. Get this flush out. He's giving information.
Yeah, I feel like, again, just like as you said, they're taking a little bit too much time. Nocino has pushed down into the compound, but they need to get this thirst. They need to get Bosnia up and get a little more cover there, so they do get Ghost down. So, again, I feel like it could have been a little bit smoother, but Euro is starting to get it going here, mainly led by the shots of Nocino kind of opening the door for some of these switches. So, again,
you can see the shots are on point right now. They just need to push together a little bit better. See, the fact that Bosnian pushed to his side by himself and it enables him to get flushed there. They should have pushed both sides 2-2 there, and they shouldn't have gone until they were ready to do that. You know, that's just kind of how you lose extra players. But honestly, great shooting from them. So you could see the potential is there.
It's the little details that can come back to bite you, but I think they'll take that trade most times there. Only losing one member and picking up 4 kills is very good for Euro right there. Unfortunately, they do lose one member there. But taking a look at your map, guys, Torch pulling into probably the most hotly contested compound here, what we like to call the crossroad compound, as you can sit on both sides of the road there and really just have so much hard cover and access to different lines of sights from the different kind of high points around you there. They did have the bunker to the west side as well, but I think the IGL called back whichever solo was over there at the bunker. Shooting range has been a hot area, at least 3 teams now. T1 pushing over to that area as well, so a lot going on here. We've got kind of a couple hot zones here, Blitz.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to mention T1 is kind of going to be rotating over RS. We saw this similar rotation yesterday, and the team where RS was didn't really have a sight line, but Ruzi actually pulls left right into them. I don't imagine he's going to survive here. Cloudsy goes down. Somehow Ruzi doesn't die there. But they did lose one on that rotation, and now they're going to try to find where they can kind of crash into. Maybe one of the shelters here.
This bunker here, he's actually cruising by, not happy with it. Maybe gonna, now that they're down to just a solo or two, go to a shack, maybe a lesser desired location. And there you go, Ruzi pulling up to the shack. Lots of shots being traded out in the shooting range area and to the north ridge as well. So Ruzi's gonna be safe here for now. Perhaps being joined up by Infernix.
Yeah, it might be smart to kind of split that shelter and that shack, because they're most likely going to lose their tires here, Stento. I mean, I'm a big shack player, but early on, they're going to lose their tires. Most likely going to be hard to leave, but sometimes you just got to play what you can do. And, You know, I want to mention before we saw Winter Circle get taken out there, I mean, the lobby has to kind of rejoice when they see any of the top teams get taken out. Again, if you Kinetic 7, Torch, Winter Circle, Kinetic in 4th, Kicked Out in 5th, Team Toxic in 6th, Results May Vary in 7th, and Code Red Gaming in 8th. So we saw them take over Shelter. They got a few points, or excuse me, shooting range. So only 2 though. So they're right on the cusp of 8 points. And RMV, our 7th place team, they've moved into 7th, getting a knock against RLX. Looks like Code Red is trying to make a move on RS. Aaron might find trades here. Got ahead. He follows it up with a nice 4x barrel spray. The remaining members of RS kind of up the hill a little bit. They might be pushing back. Meanwhile, RMV just eliminated RLX, our last place team. So RMV picked up 2 kills. They're going to get back to 4 strong, and Circle is continuing to center up on itself. Torch in a really, really good position right now. Let's take a look at our top place team. They're all the way to the west side here, but K7, as we've seen, they do not mind being in late. And you know, in this zone, Sento, there's going to be a team that comes in really late and usually crosses the side of ZES here on this little bunker. This gets played by a lot of teams in this kind of zone when there's nowhere else to go, especially because ZES has that bottom of Severny. I could also see a team maybe contesting them there, because it is kind of possible to crash Severny and fight.
Yeah, I love the map view for right now. We're watching a lot of teams kind of get close to one another, but mainly long range shots being traded out here. Torch is going to get a knock onto T1, as you can see on your map right now. That was long range, and T1 is in some trouble here. I don't think Ruzi is going to be able to risk that run from shack to shack there in the middle of your screen. So they are already too deep. I think we're watching an airlift here, Blitz, or are they all just pulling? AE just pulled in with a bunch of cars into Severny. So again, I love this map view for right now. We're just kind of seeing the sight lines that all these different teams have on each other. Euro has pulled up into that compound to the south side of Torch. They're going to be pretty comfortable for there right now. But again, this is Torch's game right now to just kind of wait and see what they can do from this center location. Lots of teams are going to have to rotate around them. Blitz, I'm watching K7 again. Yeah, great time to switch over here. Code Red Gaming is one of our teams inside of
yeah, they're right at 8th place.
Discord
right
here.
at 8th place.
Knock here, unfortunate for Spencer. Has no idea that they're sneaking up on this side. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get this res off. Not at all. Spencer is thirsted out here, and just a really timely push by K7 here. Just they've got this whole west side ridge along the fence line to work with here. The rest of the squad is now joining up here. Unfortunate for Code Red Gaming, just not really any way for them to see this push on foot from K7 here. Now the cars are going to come in a little bit later, giving K7 a little bit more options to move later on. It's 2 kills right now for K7, both at the hands of QDex, our kill leader for the tournament right now. And it's a 3-man of Code Red Gaming now trying to hold off the rest of K7. There's another team in the area here. Traves with a nice flank, getting a good angle through the fence line here, dropping QDex here. So this is going to get interesting really fast. The Thirsts are coming out from the top side. QDex is going to go down there. Code Red picking up that kill. So now some interesting dynamics being thrown into this fight. The high side, south side, all sorts of DMR shots being thrown down onto K7 here. Things are unfolding rather quickly, and there you go, 2 knocks now coming from the top side onto K7, which was a very comfortable push for them, and what looked like a world of hurt for Code Red Gaming. Blitz is now kind of turning its head as the third party starting to join, and as we kind of rotate more to the north side, RMV has pulled up just in time, and they're 4 deep. I love this squad, Blitz. We've seen them frag out heavy, but kind of had some disjointed rounds, not able to keep 4 up into end game here. So they are 4 deep here with just 2 kills as they're kind of pushing up here. 17 minutes have passed, ladies and gentlemen. Still 15 teams, 44 alive, and it's Moz with a nice knock on to Gav. Ben is there as well for the Thirst, so they're gonna pick up a nice kill. Unfortunately for K7, down to just 1 member now, Blitz, and this shooting range area has gotten really hot.
Yeah, so K7 getting fourth partied. I don't think they expected Edge to be there. That really hurt them. And then RS also coming in with some shots from across the shooting range on top of the hill. So that's our fifth partying entering the area. And then also Stento, there's still one member of TXC hiding out at the end of shooting range there. So that would be our sixth team in this area. RMV should be safe though, because they'll have this whole kind of top side of the shooting range to move into the zone on. It's really Anto. What is he going to be able to do? And then also Edge might have helped Code Red, but they're not going to have much to play there on the backside of the zone. Now the shots are coming in. Coder's down, and it's just the last member of Edge alive, getting shot from so many different directions. They probably needed to focus on getting in, which is why K7 wasn't imagining that they'd be there. And then Travs picks it up through the smoke with the mini onto Prims.
Yeah, some great shots. Spamming the mini through the smoke there. He's going to pick up another kill. That's one of our damage leader Blitz. Traves has been playing really good here for Code Red Gaming. As you can see, they did lose Spencer early on to that push from QDex on the west side.
KO just came up behind here. KO just came behind RS right now, who's kind of getting in on that fourth, fifth party into shooting range. And now KO, we heard a lot from them day one, and then they've been a little quiet since.
Yeah, and they've put RS in a really bad pinch here. They don't have any kills to their names yet, but the timing of this push over the top was really was really good, just based on some long-range knocks. It was Code Red Gaming that was looking this way, and now it's Code Red Gaming that's just chopped
Code Red picking up. I don't know how they even have that sight line there. That's a big misstep from KO to allow those shots to come in and flush.
Gosh, just really good long-range shots from Code Red Gaming here. They've still got a lot to deal with. They're just reduced to this house. They've got RMV on the north side as well. And a couple solos in the form of K7 Anto and TXC Frozen hanging out as well. But right now, Traves leading the way for the squad with that 8x on the mini. He's losing his ammo here down to just 76 bullets, so that might play a little bit of a factor here. Phase 5 has circled up. We're going to lose most of shooting range with this circle, and it's pulling out into this wide open field. A little bit of that torch compound is in, a little bit of Severny is in, but not for long, Blitz. After this zone, I think we're going to see just basically a wide open zone for phase 6.
Yeah, this zone, take a look at this. I mean, a lot of people are familiar with this. Occasionally you do see this in an esports match, and really T1 Ruse is going to be happy he's in that shed, even though they don't have much going on for them, because a lot of times they do kind of finish over here, Stento, and there's no cover, just a few trees, this shed, and I think there's one more shed right over here that someone might try to dive and take. It's just right on the edge of circle, so we just got to pay attention to this as well. Someone might crash there, and really the question is, how long is the bottom of Severny going to be in? It's just this building, so not much longer for sure. AE only has 2 kills. Torch right now, we're just going to take a look at them. They've got 7 kills. We haven't been on them yet, but we can't really stay there too long because we have to watch what's going to happen with RMV and Code Red, because they have to leave the shooting range here, and RMV is setting up a wall around the building. This is the perspective
I want. This is the perspective that people need. Watching RMV comfortably set up on this fence. They've come from the north side, so they've kind of already cleared that, so they're not really worried about too many people shooting from the north side. But AE from that bunker to the east, take down Takashi, and now it's just too many different angles that they got to worry about. And Frozen actually taking down a couple members inside of the shooting range.
He gets revenge on Ollie, taking out half his team there, hiding in the corner of shooting range. They finally take out Frozen, though. Down to 2 members left of Code Red. Aaron's very weak here, trying to get a res, and they've hacker spotted him with the mini. Zone is getting very close to them here. KO's also on the other side, Stento. Just noticed them. They're also on the bottom side of the zone. So it seems like TXC, no matter what they do here, is not getting out. Hacker with a really nice mini spray. Gonna go for the flush on that.
RMV doing a really good job dealing with multiple threats right now. They got plenty of smoke down to handle that AE threat from the bunker on the east side. And they're doing a good job of putting some pressure down onto Code Red Gaming and KO as well. That solo from TXC played a little bit of a spoiler for Code Red, who had a nice little wrap away from this edge, but they were always going to run into KO on the other side right now. RMV trying to figure out exactly what's going on over there. Traves with a knock onto KO is going to let them know if there's another team here, but Takashi and Traves combined to wipe that squad rather quickly. Out in 7th place is going to be kicked out. They just haven't gotten it going since day one, huh, Blitz?
No, you thought it was happening there. I mean, I just checked. They are in 5th place, so you still have to be pretty happy about that, but they obviously want to get more points to kind of secure that 5th place for sure. And something that's crazy, we talk about it all the time, so sorry, we just repeat it over and over again, but how does Anto get out of that situation with, 6 teams over there, and somehow he's the one that makes it out, consistently just getting their team almost to the top 4, and we'll see how it pans out for them. But those kind of plays are just kind of incredible to see them get those extra points.
Yeah, they go almost unnoticed as well. These are just massive points that he's picking up. How many teams were there alive when the rest of his team died? 15. And now he's a solo with 6 teams alive. So forget the fact that he's picked up a kill or 2 that I've seen on the kill feed. Now he's into 6. That's already another 2 points. So these points over a 30-game season, they stack up massively. And this is the little things that add up for our top teams that really set them apart from just some good shooters and some good IGLs. It's these little type of plays by solos like Anto, like Tyro that we saw yesterday. Just insane. And right now he really has the chance to play. Spoiler into RMV's game here. I saw Attacker take some damage there and I thought it was Anto, but he's staying quiet on the rocks here. Blitz, I love this angle. When is he gonna strike, ladies and gentlemen? He's got the AK in his hand. He's making sure no one's on the high side as well, but he does see Ben right in front of him. When is the right time to strike, Blitz? The trigger discipline from some of these players is my favorite thing, because there is going to be a right time. There's going to be a door that opens itself for Anto here when he sees all 4 players in front of him, because RMV is out of zone. They have to push in. It's just a matter of when, Blitz. I feel like I need to start whispering.
Yeah, I think now is probably the time he's going to go for it. I think he's been counting the players. He knows.
Oh my gosh.
Time to get up. He's crawling in now.
Yeah, let's get into his perspective. I love this push.
I want to see RMV. He's on a huge push. He's actually not doing much here. I'm gonna go to RMV. We'll pay attention to what he's doing from the backside there.
He's able to sneak in because a big fight broke out between AE and RMV on this bunker here. AE have been holding this position for a while, and now I think because of the third parties, they were kind of forced down underneath. RMV with a nice push onto the top side, so they're going to be able to hold this for this zone. They do have that solo behind, so we got to keep a close eye on it. And Torch has begun working their way out of Crossroads compound. So a lot to focus on here, but RMV in a really good spot as a 4-man to work their way off of this bunker.
There you go, Anto with the spray onto Ben. I don't know if it's going to be enough here, though. He waited until the zone was right on his back. Now AA's coming up, though. They know that RMV's above them. They got a double nade. Now's the time to push. Nada's actually going to go around here. This could be really big for them to make a play. But he goes down. He had the 4 times close range on the M4 and immediately gets flushed from Torch Kaomi.
Oh, unbelievable hold there by RMV. They're dealing with the solo, but Merc is on the push here. Torch wasting no time. They know where all of these knocks are. He looks over the top, but Hacker is holding so strong for RMV. He's going to take Merc down. There's so many knocks on the ground there, and it's actually... gosh, I couldn't even tell which angle that finally took down the final member for RMV. Fizz there, I believe, pushing over the top does finish off that RMV squad. A great game for them. You can see how tightly they stayed knitly as a 4-man there. So wow, unbelievable pushes onto that bunker. Down to our final 4 teams. It's 4-man for Torch here, who would really love to get this W here and close that gap on the top of the leaderboard. Our 2nd place team, Torch, trying to close the gap on our 1st place team, K7, who just went out in I believe 6th or maybe 5th.
Yeah, that was unfortunate there. Sorry for the viewers. I kind of rotated off that. Didn't know who the other member was with Merc, kind of taking out RMV, but that was Fizz there. And ZES, we couldn't watch them because there was so much stuff going on the other side of the circle, but they were the ones leaving Severny here. Now they're just stuck behind these 2 barrels and a little bit of the cement. And then also Arts is the one that is stuck in the shelter. So really, we have 4 teams, but I can't imagine that Art's going to be able to play much of a spoiler. I'm kind of looking to what ZES can do and T1 Ruzi, but it looks like this team, they only have one more smoke, Stento, so I don't think that's going to be enough.
I think Torch is going to clean all of this up. Can we tap into their perspective for a second? I'm curious what they've got right now, and it's actually Ruzi picking up a knock onto the solo. This is already a 10-kill game here. Ruzi in the shack picks up one of those solos. So now Torch kind of understand what's going on here. There's only 3 other players. They know one is in the shack, picking up both kills now. One is in the shack, one is in the bunker. Torch have full grip on this, and they're likely going to pick up 2 more kills. But we'll just take a little bit of time here. Fizz is going to pick up Art in the bunker, and then Luca spotting Rousey, wrapping the edge here. A very, very clean win from Torch. We saw them take that compound early, and they close it out with a very timely push up the hill here. And 12 kills and the chicken dinner in match 2 of the evening. A Tenetic 1 picking up 4 kills, all to Ruzi there. So a good job by him as a solo, getting them into that position and rounding out our top 3 in match 2 of the evening is AE with 3 kills.
Yeah, so we saw AE there just kind of surviving in the shelter. They went down in there, and obviously sometimes that's the only move you can make once you go in there. It's so hard to play out of it. And T1, they lost a lot of members on rotation. Ruzi was able to get 4 kills out of the shed. He picked up 2 right at the end there in second place. We got to be pretty happy about that. A lot of luck, though, for the circle to go right on his shelter there, his little shed. And Torch, same thing. They got a great zone. They were there early on. They came out slow. They played smart. And a 12-kill win is going to be great for them to kind of gain some ground on K7.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple different things we're keeping an eye on here. It's the top of the leaderboard and that 8th place cutoff. So we'll be back in just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading over to the dusty desert of Miramar for match 3. And we'll get that lobby set up, and we'll be back just after a short break here.
Yeah, be right back. GG's, everybody.